Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we're going to be doing a little bit more of a deep dive on this Phraesto character here, a brand new Hypogean hero. He has some weird quirks and some things I think that are not working properly, which is going to make it a little hard to test for a lot of people. Things that are wrong with his exclusive, the way his summon illusion kind of works has some interesting effects. He is kind of powerful, but being that he is a tank, you definitely need heavy investment in this hero. So if you guys are looking for a too long didn't watch type thing at the beginning here, not a hero you want to try to build in the early game. Reinier is still most likely going to be the best bet. We're going to do a bunch of deep diving, show you guys exactly how this hero works, what isn't working, and where he actually does well in. So let's start off with something that isn't quite working properly, and others have already tested this. I, of course, have brought the Mirage Pipe, his exclusive weapon, all the way up to 15, thinking I needed to bring it to plus 15, where it says Phraesto summons a new illusion in front of himself if the previous illusion is defeated before his main body is. The new illusion gets 60% of his HP and only triggers once per battle. People that have it at plus 10 are actually getting this effect right now. I don't know if it's meant to be at this middle part. Usually the plus 10 is like the changing ability, and like the plus 5 and plus 15 are the damaging portion. And let's be honest, the damage of this hero, if you guys didn't know, is kind of not good. It's the best way I can put it. But right here, this is the first thing that isn't working properly, but it's a good not working properly because, again, this extra summon is happening at plus 10 and not plus 15. So I guess hopefully that stays, and they just change the verbiage, switch the order, and keep everything the same. The next thing to talk about is kind of one of the sad things I want to explain, and that is the fact that this initial summon, because it happens before the battlefield comes out, the exclusive from Florabelle does not apply to him. It will not give him a shield, and I'm going to show you guys here exactly what that looks like. I'm actually going to throw a thorn on him as well to make sure he survives, and we could probably just go with something a little more tanky on top of that. So watch what happens though after this summon dies, because at the beginning of battle, you'll notice immediately he does not get the shield. No shield whatsoever. However, the one that summons after the fact does get a shield because it is actually summoned onto the battlefield. In case you guys didn't see it, I'll show it to you one more time a little bit closer up. So watch this right here. The first one dies, it does its whole thing there. Watch the second summon that comes out right here. See, it gets that half a bar shield. That is getting the summon shield effect from Florabelle. I don't know if this is intended or if it's just a bug that they didn't give the shield on the launch. But again, the only thing I think is because it's already on the battlefield, and the way this kind of reads really is the fact that it's like it gives the shield when it enters the battlefield, and technically it's already on the battlefield, so it's not entering. This is the one summon we've had that doesn't appear after combat starts. It's just already there. So again, is it intended? Maybe. Should it be changed? I absolutely think so. I think it should still count as entering the battlefield the second you hit battle, and he should get the shield to give him more survivability. One absolutely amazing part about Phraesto's kit though is the fact that he gives 2 buffs depending on which version of himself, whether it's him, the main body, or the illusion, at the beginning of battle, and it persists through the battle. This part here, Phraesto increases the recipient's energy recovered by 14%, while the illusion increases the damage reduction by 14%. That's actually pretty good because when you get it leveled up further as well, Phraesto grants his recipient an extra 80 energy. The way that this seems to be working is this 80 energy seems to be modified by this 14% energy recovery speed. So I think that's more like 90 to 92 or something like that. I don't know the exact math on it. I didn't math it out, but it does actually seem like that energy is boosted, which is interesting. So I don't know why. I guess just that's the way it works. And him getting energy feed on heroes is an amazing strategy, which I'll do a lot more. I have a couple very in-depth videos on specific setups with this hero I am going to go over. And then the illusion also grants the recipient a shield. So the one that the illusion is giving behind him is actually providing a shield on top of that. So you can see right here, if we throw them in combat a little bit more spread out properly here, you'll see right here, this is the one that provides the shield, also provides a little bit of a shield on top of it. It was burned like almost immediately, but that does take place, which is kind of cool. And the overall the kit of this hero is really good for a tank. It's very good tank so far from what I've seen for deficit pushing, especially if you want to build a summoner team, which again, we're going to highlight the summoner team in a video most likely tomorrow. He has really good defenses. However, seeing that he is a tank hero, one thing he's missing from not being at Supreme Plus is HP. He has very high physical and magic defenses, but the HP just really isn't there just yet. I was able to get a full legendary set, which does give him quite a bit of stats. Like if you look at the stats you're getting, it's actually pretty significant. So getting these is very important. You can get them for very, very easy from the new merchant that we're going to talk about later today. But beyond that, the other thing that Supreme Plus also does is it gives both of them a gigantic shield. I do think that is going to be very important for this character to be useful. So if you're a free-to-play player, low spender, mid spender, even kind of big spender, this probably is not going to be a hero for you. I'm going to show you where he does really do well in. But the nice thing is you can just keep saving up your stargazers right now, continue working on other heroes. He can be good. He has some really cool compositions, and the fact that, like I said, he can even feed energy to the target behind him is actually really cool, because if you run a hero like a Coco, or like if you have some sort of Rowan composition that you want, this hero can slot in very well. Where is my Rowan? My eyes just cannot see him. I never use my Rowan anymore. A very popular team can be pretty much used just as much right now. It's kind of cool, especially with like Cascade Spell or something. You can run this normal type of team, throw in your Smokey in the middle here, and you can even run like the Coco too on your squad, and you can get in this battle and you can get to very fast ultimates on Rowan, because you can see how fast that energy is going up, because not only does he have this Cascade artifact which injects a ton, he's also got the energy boosting, the 14% extra from being behind the main body of Phraesto. So you can see the typical team can work. It's definitely possible with the Cessia squad. If Cessia is still your main girl, is definitely good. And this can probably be usable even at like a lower count of hero copies. We're going to show that again in another video. There's just so many topics to talk about when a new hero like this comes out. Be prepared. We're not going to give you our final judgment on a hero right away, but as you guys can see, a more stereotypical team that you probably already have can be usable with him. It also helps with faction bonus, because remember, he is a Hypogean. It's actually better than throwing the Entendre in as far as the bonuses go. But yeah, it's something to consider. It might be something worthwhile. We'll have to see exactly how this turns out, but these are the initial effects that I am noticing with this hero. The one other thing I do want to talk about is his overall damage. Now, I know most people are going to say, Barry, he's a tank hero, he shouldn't really do damage, but I mean, he's literally falling behind on damage versus heroes like Thorin, Antandra, Tamesia. Like every hero, every tank feels like it does more damage than him. And I feel like maybe something is bugged here. If you guys find something, let me know. This Vicious Sting should be a pretty sizable damage item. So it says the target will lose 2% plus, of course, 0.4% of the skill power of their max HP per second, while restoring 3% to the caster. So that's pretty interesting. Enemy HP loss can't exceed 40% of his attack per second. So maybe it's just because like the attack here, it's got a cooldown of 11 seconds. However, you do have the main body and the illusion, so you should be able to keep this stacked up, because it does go up to the point where it's dealing 3.3 plus 0.4%, so it's a sizable amount, and it should be able to stack and everything, and it just feels like it's falling flat. I've tried it on a couple bosses and things like that. I can show you one interesting spot that I found a very interesting use for him, and that is in like King Croaker, and very specific, I think, to King Croaker. Instead of running a Coco, you can run the Phraesto, because number one, you can give some damage reduction to your ranged units if you need it. Number two, you can feed additional energy to other heroes on top of that. We're still doing the swap strategy, the Odie Alsa strategy. I haven't actually tried the new artifact either. That's something we're going to talk about as well. We'll give it a go here. Still need Thorin to absorb those hits. One thing that's cool to note, this illusion can tank one of the bubbles, however, no more after that. And you'll notice here, this is an interesting setup, because it kind of allows you to have a pretty good faction bonus here. There is some additional damage compared to what you would have with Coco. However, this is something you really need to have, like the magic charms on your Rainier, so he's getting some healing on 2 targets. But the interesting thing he causes is King Croaker is no longer attacking your backline heroes, which is one of the reasons why you need like Coco and Odie on a lot of accounts. This, however, makes the change possible that you can focus more on your melee heroes, and both Thorin and Phraesto are going to be able to heal and stuff and keep themselves alive, while our Alsa, being the swap target, will also be able to keep herself alive because of the Reinir. Besides that, you'll notice Reinir and Odie take like no damage in this fight whatsoever because of the way this is set up. So that's pretty interesting. You could probably change the positioning of some of these heroes a little better too. Maybe feed the energy to the Odie and give the damage reduction to the Alsa. I don't know, but you can see here, nobody's really dying from those big AoEs from King Croaker, which is a pretty cool thing. You'll see at the end though, much talking on his damage topic, it's not going to be all that great. Thorin does finally go down. I think they stay alive to the end here, and you see there's still 3 targets up front. So you're still getting hit with your tanks with those big bubbles. You're not worrying about the damage dealers in the far back dealing with it. Yeah, this artifact might not be upgraded quite enough. It's not going to get a record, but this is the team setup I did use to get my current record, and it's a really, really interesting team. However, like I said, something with the damage feels off, because the Thorin didn't even last the whole battle. He did more damage, even did more healing too. So I don't know what this is gonna be like. It's definitely not gonna be great. We hit what, 65.6% with the other artifact. Something seems off with his damage. It's just really, really bad. Like, even in most wave battles and everything, the damage just doesn't feel there, which is a little sad. Yes, he's a tank, but at the same time, I feel like he should be able to put out some pretty sick damage being a Hypogean hero. So that covers a lot of the things we've discovered on the first day of what does work with this hero, what doesn't work with this hero, what synergies they can possibly have, a couple game modes where they can be good. And what you guys are going to see over the next couple days are specific team compositions I've been putting together. One of them that seems really good at deficit pushing in AFK battles. I would say this hero is amazing in AFK battles. He's probably one of the best tanks to have in AFK battles right now. But again, requires very heavy investment. Even if you're like a mid spender, this is probably not a hero to build just yet. We're going to deep dive more into his team compositions, the way he works, and show you guys where he thrives, and also talk about where he absolutely sucks at. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.